Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40k series should focus on a Space Marine civil war that was the closest the Empyrean came to a second Horus heresy. Okay, so the title here is, or they could just do the Horus heresy, which I assume is a first Horus heresy. And then they go on to say, I would absolutely be down to see the HH be fleshed out in 4 to 5 seasons. All right, so I'm actually coming to you guys with this video with a question. How possible is this? I know Warhammer is super, really, really big. It's probably the biggest, as far as, an extended universe. It's probably one of the biggest franchises out there. And 4 to 5 seasons is their estimation for the Horus Heresy. And from what I understand, there are a lot of books. So, frankly, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical here. As much as I, would really appreciate a Warhammer 40k TV show, that would be super dope. But for the most part, I'm just a tad bit skeptical at, some of the recent behaviors of streamers. I genuinely don't know, even if they did have 4 to 5 seasons to do it. If ratings aren't as good as they want it to be, they're going to cancel it. They do not care about the ending of the story, which is rough. You know what I mean? That's why, when it's an actual production company, making the TV show, and I don't know. I'd much rather have a movie, because I think a movie would be more doable. However, possibly not. So even when I'm thinking about it, I just understand that there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of content that they can put in either of the Horus wars, right? But for the most part, they're saying 4 to 5 seasons for Horus Heresy. And I'm not too sure how the Space Marine Civil War, I don't know how long that is, but, it's probably going to be long. So I just wanted to make this video. I'm a little sick, but I just wanted to make this video to, extend the question to you guys, because I want to control my hype for this. I am super excited for this, but I want to understand what is the realistic expectation here. Because saying 4 to 5 seasons right off the gate, that is not a good start. That is not a good start. That is probably not... This is honestly probably a lot of hard work to produce, just because they need to seriously pay attention to what's going on in the story they're covering. Sometimes these, streamers, they don't really care about the actual source material. So, and then people have, they have, faith in Henry Cavill for it. So, well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. But I wanted to extend the question to you guys. How possible is it either of these stories, how possible is it they get adapted within 4 to 5 seasons? Is it possible? My dude, you can't just do the Horus Heresy and expect newcomers to have any idea whatsoever about what's going on. I honestly hope they follow along with the feel we got from Secret Level, self-contained badassery with little exposition. Let the story tell itself. Don't try to force feed a mountain of info into a fresh audience, which the show will need to acquire if it has any hopes of ever seeing a second or third season. Yeah, that's a valid concern for sure. You definitely have to be careful with especially this story. Isn't the Horus Heresy, isn't it like the story of Space Marines, basically? Now, I know there's a bunch of different factions, and obviously there's a second potential Horus Heresy. However, I think this guy brings up a good point about Secret Level. Secret Level was good. It was good. Astartes is good. So they should really just try to stick going down that road. But you know what? I can say the Secret Level maybe did a little bit of getting people interested in Warhammer. But I can also understand that Warhammer is kind of, a bit overwhelming to just jump right in. So, yeah, obviously they can't just mouth off exposition to, new viewers of Warhammer and expect them to know what's going on. Yeah, let the story tell itself is good. Is definitely a good plan. Or maybe even some of the more important lore bits, maybe it's shown off in the background or something, and we focus on a smaller story, So essentially, it could set up second and third season for something bigger. But yeah, still a little skeptical. I think this guy brings up a good point. Regardless, I'm definitely excited to hear more about it. 40k show. Just do 30k, question mark. Guys, the Yeertski and 40k are not the same setting. Same universe, yes, but not the same setting. We want a 40k show. This is talking about the Badab War, something that would be absolutely amazing to get more material for. Okay, I like that attitude. I mean, I really can't confirm much about the setting or anything, but I like the attitude. No Primarchs to skew the stakes, just Marines against Marines. Yeah, I like the sound of that. With some chaos sprinkled here and there. Dude, seeing adapted chaos would be kind of sick. As far as concepts for the show go, that's pretty close to the top of the list. All right, well, I'll take their word for it. But yeah, could you imagine adapted chaos? Like, dude, honestly, chaos in a live action would be very, very cool. And I gotta say that the story does sound interesting. I'm just skeptical of how much they can fit into a season. That's pretty much how I'm approaching this. Everyone, of course, has their own experience on how they got into Warhammer, but I certainly think HH, Horus Heresy, is not the place to start Warhammer for a wider audience. It's a prequel, and so much of it hinges on you already kind of knowing what happened. All right, so we definitely have a couple people here who are basically agreeing with the article here. Well, essentially, they're agreeing with the approach to what they're doing with the show. And look, the actual content bits aren't really what bothers me. I'll definitely watch whatever. You know what I mean? But that being said, how realistically long can we expect this series to be? You know what I mean? Like, genuinely, 4 to 5 seasons is kind of rare for streaming shows. Only like a few really do that. But if season 1 and season 2 does really good, then it's possible. But it would be kind of a pain to just leave off the story onto like a cancel season. Yeah, I don't know. But at least I do feel a little bit better. People are kind of agreeing with their approach, so that's a good sign. Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down? There's the Badab War. There's the time and massive amount of chapters were banished into the warp on a penitent crusade because of church zealots. There's the time the Iron Hands had a major schism and nearly devolved into a full-blown civil war. There's the time the Space Wolves picked a fight with the Inquisition and dragged the Grey Knights into it by murdering a Grandmaster aboard his own ship. Holy cow. That is a lot of dysfunction. Terra had to be assaulted multiple times over because of corrupt High Lords. And those are just the ones I can remember. 10 millennia is a lot of time for civil wars to happen. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, of course, this is why I'm excited to hear more about this story, so we understand what we're actually getting into. But, I mean, everything there sounded interesting, so I'm not like 100%. Okay, so I was a little skeptical, going into this, but reading how much the people who are following this, how much they know about Warhammer is, kind of reassuring. Because at the very least, somebody is going to hear something about one of these guys, trying to, basically see what's going to actually happen in this TV show. So, I don't know. Could Henry Cavill actually pull it off? He was very, very to the books with Witcher. So, I mean, that potentially is good, but also with Warhammer, that's very time-consuming, So, but regardless, I mean, with Witcher, I already trust him right off the gate, But yeah, I'm just hoping everyone he's working with are also as passionate as, Henry is about, the Warhammer universe and all that. I am excited for it. I think it would be cool. I'm still a little bit skeptical of how much they're going to be able to fit into a season. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. And I definitely want to hear from you guys about this because I'm basically going in blind to a Warhammer TV show, but I think it'll help me actually understand more of the lore. I have read some, I didn't read any, but I actually came across some Horus memes, so that's pretty funny. So definitely, if they do end up doing something with Horus, I can imagine we'll get some good meme potential. Church zealots. I can't get over the fact, when I looked up Astartes, the YouTube video, it's very well done. I'm probably, the last person talking about it at this point. But when I looked it up, it mentioned that Astartes are monks, and, that's very cool. Or maybe I read something wrong, or maybe only certain Astartes are monks, but they are pretty religious. Even though, the Emperor is, around, right? Regardless, definitely let me know in the comments how you feel about this. I'm less skeptical now that I read a little bit, But, yeah, whenever you see the word Horus, and then, you talk about, content length, it's one of the longest stories, as far as tabletop games, or as far as games in general, I bet. Let me know in the comments if you can correct me there, but that is how I am basically, that's basically how I perceive this. I just assume that, the horror story is going to be very long, and they're going to need a lot of support for that. So, yeah, let's just, keep an eye on it. Keep up the support. We're all excited for a new show. So, I don't know. I'm definitely excited to hear more. And yes, I'll probably cover it in the future. Thanks for watching.